Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And we just got back from the Speed Force to give you a review and recap of The Flash, Season 3, Episode 19, The Once and Future Flash. And don't worry, friends, you don't have to run to the future because this video has plenty of spoilers, but if you haven't watched the episode yet, you might want to run back to the past. The episode begins where it's snowing for some reason in Central City, and Barry figures out that 2024 is the year that he has to time travel to. And Iris makes Barry promise to take care of Joe West. Then we see Killer Frost taking Star Labs apart. She tries to kiss Julian, and Vibe blasts her and breaks the necklace that controls her powers. The boys hide in the grid, but Frost finds them, and then the Flash attacks her, and she traps them, and she gets away. All right.
You shoot in Vancouver, where there's real snow. Why are you using fake snow?
Well, more so, like, why are we showing snow at the end of April?
Because if you live in Canada, there's a good chance you could have snow until June.
Central City's in Missouri.
No, well, I don't know anything about Missouri.
Very warm at the end of April.
It's just to illustrate the Killer Frost of it all.
Yes.
But the fact that it's not addressed as like a freak snowstorm and nobody's like, why is it snowing outside? I think is really silly because it is strange.
Yep.
It's weird and out of place.
Although I will say, I thought Killer Frost tearing apart the lab was really cool, actually.
Awesome. I love Killer Frost. Like, I don't need Caitlin Snow to ever come back because she's better as Killer Frost. Killer Frost is great.
Then Barry decides to run to the future right in the middle of this Killer Frost disaster, but he needs Kid Flash's help to do it. So they run around the ring and Kid Flash throws Barry into the future, February 3rd, 2024. Then the Top is there, and so the Top gives him vertigo. Then Mirror Master punches the Flash out, and he reveals that the Flash has been gone for a while. So Barry just runs away. Barry finds Iris in his loft completely empty, and then Cisco appears saying that he knew it was you, and he's like, oh cool, you're wearing your 2017 costume version. And then Barry asks Cisco to take him to Barry Allen. All right. So, Barry's not fast enough to run into the future by himself. But also, Barry Allen is like,
You should have just sent Wally.
my friends are being killed by Killer Frost.
I'ma leave.
I'm gonna go to the future.
Yeah. I liked one thing about this. I liked that Wally had to, like, bum rush him to the future.
Topple him over backwards?
Like, that was really cool. He should have just sent Wally, because Wally is faster, and it would have taken much less upper arm strength. But, you know, I guess he's the Flash, so he has to go.
I will say that in the future, I liked seeing the Top and Mirror Master again, but the Mirror Master was kind of weak in this scene. Like, made some very overacting choices.
There was some scenery chewing that was a little too far. I will commend the Top and her costume designer / dresser because she always has the best clothes when she appears. It was nice having them, I think, appear again after they were introduced earlier this season.
And I will say, I want to shout out to Carlos Valdez. Great job as the older Cisco. Very toned down, very scared, but also very much like, oh, the day has come again. I appreciated his acting choice.
Also, mad props for just creeping around Barry and Iris' old home for 8 years.
I'm in the bathrobe, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm assuming we'll talk about this as we meet more characters in the future. There is basically no makeup or costume choices that goes towards aging these characters up, and he does do a really good job at making it seem like a lot of time has passed.
Yeah, a lot of time has passed, Barry.
Why are you Southern?
Because this is the way future Cisco is. Just go with it. At Star Labs, we find out that HR went on to other things. Caitlin has become permanent Killer Frost, and Barry shut everything down. Star Labs and the team, because they were a reminder of what he lost. Then Barry meets Future Emo Barry, and Future Barry tells him to go home, and Future Barry says that, hey man, I don't even know who Savitar is, so go home. So Barry suits up and decides to go home, but Cisco tries to convince him to stay because they have other villains, and Barry tries to run home, and he can't get the portal to open. Okay. Let's talk about Spider-Man 3 Emo Barry Allen from the future here.
Do we
Long
have to?
hair, swaggers in like this, and also he talks deeper.
You know, all you have to do to make your hair look different is not put product in it. It'll probably work just fine.
Hey, I don't know who Savitar is.
But he does know who Savitar is.
No, he doesn't. If Future Barry Allen says that he doesn't know who Savitar is, he doesn't know who Savitar is. But he's not Savitar.
Yeah, I don't think he's Savitar.
But why did Grant Gustin make this choice that to age Barry Allen of just be like, hey, in 7 years I'm gonna sound like I have Sore throat.
Because Grant Gustin doesn't make strong acting choices.
That's the only solution I could come up with.
Sorry, and the wig's not gonna do it for you. And standing with your head down, you do that all the time anyway. Future Barry was a buzzkill, a terrible human being, and not fun to watch.
But you know what else this little next section we talked about, though? Especially when Cisco, was talking to past Barry Allen, and seems like, don't leave, I need you. Again, Carlos Valdez.
Yes.
Killing in this episode. Barry asks Cisco why he hasn't gotten the team back together, and then we see Killer Frost froze Vibe's hands. Vibe has no powers. We then see Julian, and he reveals 2017 as the year that it all began, and Julian has Killer Frost locked up in a lab. Barry says he failed Killer Frost, but he will save her in the past. Then Killer Frost reveals that Savitar appeared to her in the past, and they were a team. He gave her a cure to her illness, embracing who she is. And Barry asks, who is Savitar? She refuses. Then Killer Frost reveals that Wally went toe-to-toe with Savitar after Barry Allen disappeared. Okay. I actually thought, to be honest with you, one of the best aging things that they did in this episode was aging Julian Alpert. I thought combing his hair back, giving him glasses, telling him to grow his beard out a little bit more, was actually, I thought, it aged him the most of all the characters.
Well, I think it amplifies the fact that he does have a receding hairline.
Yep.
So when you can see it, that obviously, but yes, he did have a much more mature bearing. I also think that, Tom Felton did a great job at playing, a little older, a little wiser, maybe a little more tired. I had something I was going to say and I forgot.
Well, I want to bring up the fact that I was genuinely surprised when we learned that Killer Frost teams up with Savitar.
Yes.
That surprised me. And also that she knows who Savitar is, but she's like, na poo pants.
Just make her tell you.
Yeah.
That's why, because she knows, that's why I think that timeline Barry knows.
What?
I do think that Emo Barry knows who Savitar is.
Oh, Emo Future Barry. Yeah, okay. We have a lot of berries in this episode. So you have to say Future Barry or Past Barry.
Okay, Emo Barry or Contemporary Barry.
Yep.
I like that she froze Cisco's hands. And
that was savage.
It messed him up. But how come his powers are strictly tied to his hand? I don't understand why he couldn't harness, there's nothing in his powers as far as we understand that would say that you couldn't project it from your forehead or from your chest or from your feet. I know you did it to make him sad. But
I'm going to say this. Yes, you did it for sad. I also thought that moment was great. I will say this. I will say that I think freezing his hands means that he cannot project vibrational waves, which is what he's doing. That would stop that power. But you are correct that he should still be able to put on the glasses and sense things and vibe to the future. The hand shouldn't stop that.
I also believe that Cisco is a good enough scientist that in the intervening 8 years, he could have built an electro rig or something that would help him harness his powers from his hands.
Fair point.
But I understand why you do it from a story point.
Story reason.
I'm not criticizing it, but I think Cisco's smart enough to get around it.
Sure. Cisco and Barry visit Wally and they see that he's in a wheelchair and non-responsive, and then Cisco reveals that Savitar shattered Wally's spine, and no one knows what Wally saw that night. Barry asks where Joe is, and we find that Joe West is putting flowers on Iris's grave after Joe gets after him and says that Barry turned his back and left him. His life disappeared. Barry then finds future emo Barry Allen in the future room looking at his picture of Iris in Star Labs, and Barry gets after future Barry. Future Barry reveals that he will create time remnants, but nothing he does can stop Savitar from killing Iris. And he says that you'll become obsessed with Savitar, and you'll forget your entire life, leaving everybody behind to stop Savitar. And you know what? You'll do it. And so he says, leave me, go home again. All right.
There are so many berries.
So future Barry, again, drops that somewhere in the future of this season, Barry Allen's going to create time remnants.
I have a big problem with Barry Allen creating time remnants, as we addressed at the end of season 2.
He's already done it.
Because you're just straight up creating something to murder it.
Yep.
And it's another version of yourself. And I also would wonder if you created so many time remnants, would that drain on you as the original source?
Would that make you Jamie Madrox the Multiple Man?
Exactly.
Different universe?
Which is a very common comic book trope for this kind of storytelling. I don't think Barry is that heartless. And I don't understand the portrayal of him as I'm just going to sacrifice all these people. and then I'm going to abandon all the people that I love. Like, it seems like a bridge too far for me, and I understand that the point of projecting that reality or showing it to us as the audience is that our Barry won't have to go there because he's already seen that.
It's a version of A Christmas Carol.
Exactly.
But I do think that this Barry would go there because we've seen Barry Allen do a lot of cuckoo crazy stuff this season, like where he was like, oh, I know what'll save Iris if I propose to her. I know what'll save my mom.
That's different than I'm going to create things and murder them.
But also at the same time, this is also a Barry Allen that has gone back in the past for no reason and completely upended the timeline just because he was kind of bored and missed his mom.
Yeah, but Barry always does those things for selfish reasons.
But this, again, very selfish of Barry.
I guess, but I don't know about Barry killing people for selfish reasons. He'll screw up your life.
Well, I'm not talking about the time remnant stuff.
Okay.
I'm talking about him forgetting his life and going after Savitar. Forget the time remnants thing because those things are just so confusing I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
And then the Wally stuff is really sad. And then it's also sad that that's kind of like Wally's only scene in the episode.
Yep.
Because I just like Wally and would have liked to see more of him.
Barry then wants to go back home and figures out that Cisco stopped him from going back, and he's trying to get Barry to stay and reform the team. Then we see HR as a romance novelist as the Flash yanks him and the entire team back to Star Labs. Then the team gets an alert that the Top and Mirror Master are at it again, and they unite as Team Flash. Oh my God, HR as the ladies' man romance novel.
I'm totally invested in HR's booty call. 10 out of 10. I would have watched a whole episode of that.
I love his line where he was like, I'm about to do something that a man only gets one shot at to check off his list.
Sleeping with a groupie?
No, sleeping with two groupies.
Two groupies.
Because it was the joke in the scene where he talked about like, oh, we could do a group thing, and they both went, oh.
I also think it's weird that like the ladies have his phone number.
Yeah.
Like if you're a celebrity, or who has their phone number listed anymore?
Could have been future Tinder. We don't know.
They swiped. I don't know which way you swiped.
I'm gonna call it HR Rinder.
H
Rinder.
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 Frinder?
H. Rinder.
Frinder?
H. Rinder.
I also like that he was egotistical enough to change the joke in CC jitters to HR jitters.
HR jitters.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love him at his full crazy potential.
And then future Team Flash is back together pretty easily.
I mean, yeah, it didn't take a lot of convincing, but I get it. We gotta get cracking by this point in the episode.
Along. Flash confronts the Top and the Mirror Master, and Top puts the whammy on it as the buildings look to crush him. Cisco uses the device to stop the Top, but he needs Future Barry to save past Barry. So Future Flash shows up and saves Barry in a not-so-new suit, and both of them stop the Mirror Master, and Future Flash actually pulls the Mirror Master out of his mirror dimension. The two Barrys talk, and Future Barry says that he can't help past Barry, but Future Barry says, track down Tracy Brand. She's the one who helped me trap Savitar in the Speed Force, but she won't figure it out until 4 years after Iris's death. Here's all her research. Maybe she can figure out the information because it's all encoded. Okay. I like the Future Flash's costumes. A little bit brighter, has a little bit more lightning bolts.
I like the yellow.
If that's going to be the season 4 costume, I kind of want them to change a little bit more than just that. It needs to be a little bit more different.
Yeah, you think?
Well, yeah, because all the costume that we just saw the Future Flash was basically Barry's costume just with stuff glued on top of it.
I mean, I guess it doesn't bother me that much because like Captain America just gets a new dye job every movie.
Well,
so.
I'm gonna go with Arrow because the Arrow season 4 costume was completely different from the season 3.
Changes drastically.
So that's what I want.
I think what you're seeing here is a proto version. Like this was the first pass that the producers saw.
And we also have gotten enough jokes in this episode about the 2017 model. So I think that definitely confirms that next season we're getting a new costume.
Just make it brighter.
Just make it a bright red.
That's all you need.
Jay Garrick's costume is bright red. Let's do it bright red.
Yeah.
Okay, so Future Flash also introduces this idea of Tracy Brand. She's the one who figured it out. Here's her research. If you track her down in the past, maybe she'll be able to figure it out.
Yes, because she solved it 4 years after Iris died, so maybe they could do it before.
Maybe if you give her research, maybe she can figure it out. Okay. Do we think this is a little bit of a Deus Ex Machina?
Oh, completely.
Okay.
100%.
A character we've never met before?
A character that, we've never met before, doesn't exist in comic continuity unless, of course, Tracy Brand turns out to be an alias, and she's actually Tracy 13, which could be really
And also,
cool.
Barry can't, the info's encoded or encrypted or something like that? Yeah.
But it is, because if she winds up being the key to unleashing Savitar's identity, then why did we have to wait 20-some-odd episodes to meet her?
Yeah.
Like, we should have met her at episode 5, 10, 15.
I'm telling you right now, I'm putting the prediction right now out. I don't think we learn Savitar's identity till the final episode now.
Yep. That's all I
don't think it's going to be to
that.
the finale. I really do. And I don't know why you would wait that long.
I agree, because this episode, and we'll get there, sets up the perfect reveal.
Yep.
And then it didn't give it to us, as it turned out.
No. Barry returns to the past and tells him that the info he has doesn't figure out who Savitar is, but we gotta find Caitlin. And then the final scene shows Killer Frost meeting Savitar in the woods. Savitar wants to make sure that Caitlin never returns. His suit opens, a figure walks out, Caitlin sees him, reacts, and asks, "What do you want me to do?" Okay, first off, can we talk about the Joe and Barry moment?
Can we talk about something just a little bit before that? If I was Iris and you were Barry and you were like, psych, I just went to the future and I came back and I didn't figure out who killed you, I would have hit you in the face. But he wasted his entire time there.
But Iris, I have this hard drive that I can save you.
And then I would say an expletive and then crack.
Okay. But it then leads to, again, I thought Barry just being like, "I love you, Joe," one of the nicest moments of the season.
Yes, Flash excels at the family dynamic and at interpersonal relationships.
It's all based around Joe.
Yeah, well, Jesse L. Martin is a national treasure. And that's one of the things that the show does really well and makes it special. Yeah. And it's nice to have a moment like that. It's really gratifying after so much weirdness.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Caitlin reveal. Caitlin gets to see who Savitar is.
But
we as the audience do not. But she knows who it is.
Yes.
So obviously there's a lot. Okay, let's talk about Savitar's identity. Okay, we can knock some people off this list now. It's not future Barry.
Everyone from Team Flash.
In the future, it's not Jesse. It's not HR. It's not Julian. It's not Cisco.
It's not Joe.
I just said Joe.
Oh, it's not Wally.
It's not Wally. It's not anybody we saw in the future. There's only a couple people we didn't see Iris in the future. Now that would be a little weird.
Dead.
But Caitlin knows who this is.
I will tell you this, though. If it turns out to be Iris,
oh man,
I will be really impressed.
Really? Why?
I will, because Iris is a character that we've been saying for a long time. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you in Star Labs all the time? Like, she lacks functionality. She lacks drive, besides being the girl that Barry keeps proposing to. When she's good, she's really good, but she often doesn't have anything to do. And if she's secretly just been this wet blanket because we're building toward making her the big bad, like, that would be awesome. And that somehow in the future, she managed to, like, figure out how to pretend, because obviously if she's still alive in the future, to pretend to kill herself just in order to mess with Barry, like, that's epic. And then to turn the two leading ladies into the two bad guys, I don't think it's Iris, but if it was, I think it'd be really cool. I just don't think the CW goes there.
What if it's Caitlin's mom? Just crazy idea.
I hate Caitlin's mom. I mean, whatever.
At this point, again, I'm still at the point, I have no idea who Savitar is.
I don't either. But you feel, we talked about this in our predictions video a while ago. You feel like it has to be someone we've met before, because Caitlin obviously knows who it is, but that we probably haven't seen for a while, which leaves the entire list of bad guys, I guess.
And I think it's hurting this season because we've known who Prometheus was for like 4 episodes now.
They revealed that at the perfect time.
And it really has helped Arrow knowing who Prometheus was.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think not knowing who Savitar is starting to really hurt this show.
Yes.
All right, so let's move into our ratings based on a scale of 1 to 5 lightning bolts. Ashley, what would you give the Once and Future Flash?
I think the Once and Future Flash has a really good title.
Yep, based on King Arthur book.
And that's
T.S. Eliot.
About it. So I'm going to give it 2.
Ooh, you scored this really low.
I did not like this. I think this episode was a giant waste of time.
Okay.
I think this episode only existed in this form because they have to fill out their full episode order, and really this showed me that the show should have ended at 20 episodes or at 19. It should have had a shorter order like Legends, and I'm really disappointed with the way it played out. So I'm going to give it 2. People were mostly good in it, so I won't give it a 1.
All right, cool.
How about you?
I'm going to give this episode a 3. I don't think this is a terrible episode. I think there are some fun moments in it. I think seeing the Mirror Master on the top is a fun part.
That was nice.
Seeing the new Future Flash costume's a nice beat. I even liked the Savitar scene at the end, even though I think we should have seen his face.
It's just so frustrating.
Or her face. We don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Savitar, I think, should have been revealed in this episode. This is the perfect episode to do it. I think we should have revealed it. But you are right that Barry's trip to the future is basically meaningless. He does bring nothing back from the future besides a hard drive.
And a name. And I mean, we know they've cast this actress. We know that he's going to have scenes with her. But, like, what if he just went and knocked on her door and she told him to go away?
Yeah, she might be like, I don't know who you are, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Or I don't understand this. So because of that, I'm going to give this a 3. I don't think it's an absolutely terrible episode, but I think it's an okay episode.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move straight into our predictions, Ashley. Based on what you saw in this episode, The Once and Future Flash, what do you think's coming in the last 4 episodes of Flash? 3 episodes of Flash.
I kind of blew my prediction by saying that I think that Savitar could be Iris.
Is that your prediction?
That would be really amazing. Yeah, because this episode gave me nothing about where the show's going, even what we're going to be dealing with next episode, besides the fact that, like, Caitlin's run off with Savitar, and I got one. I think this is how we're going to get rid of Julian. I think Caitlin is going to be returned to her Caitlin Snow form. She's not going to be Killer Frost in the finale, or by the end of the finale.
Sure.
And it's because Julian is going to sacrifice himself. She's going to kill him. She's going to feel so bad that she's going to return to being Caitlin again, and we're going to get, like, weepy Caitlin that we got at the beginning of season 1. There's my prediction for you.
Interesting.
Yeah, murder. What do you think is going to happen in the rest of Flash?
I think, and my theory is also about Caitlin, I think Killer Frost is going to be the person that stops Savitar.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I think it's going to be Julian convincing her to stop Savitar. I think Killer Frost is going to be the person that's going to do it. But I also think that, because I don't think we end this season with Killer Frost still being around, I also think that Savitar saps her powers. Savitar can control people's powers. I think Savitar's going to take his powers as like a revenge for killing her. I think Killer Frost is going to betray Savitar and secretly become the hero.
That's a good one.
That is my prediction. All right, guys, so go down in the comments and let us know who you think Savitar is, because we still don't know. And while you're down there, click subscribe and also that little bell right beside subscribe.
And why not click on one of the videos that's popped up? We know you're going to like all the stuff that we do. If you want to support us and help us make more exclusive geeky content, head on over to patreon.com/Jawiin. Throw a little support our way and help us make more cool stuff.
And we'll see you next week for another Flash recap. So, Ashley, really quickly, let's run into the future.